Season greetings, boy.
Season greetings.
What we doing later, boy? Christmas Eve, no?
Nah, boy, I ain't going nowhere later. To be honest, I'm good, man.
Oh, all right, man. Respect.
Yeah, enough respect. Fly the Jones Swoosh, Lagerman saying, looking to party this Christmas season, do so responsibly. Do not give or get the gift of COVID. Be COVID-19 smart. Do your part, stay 6 feet apart. I keep my distance. A message from the Ministry of Health. Fly the Jones Swoosh.
Good morning and welcome to The Point. It is Thursday, December 24th, 2020, Christmas Eve. Thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. Those of you on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20, and good morning once again to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. This morning we are going to have an open line program here on To The Point. There is no program tomorrow, God willing, because of course it's Christmas Day, so we're going to move up open line to today, where we give you, our viewers and listeners, an opportunity to call in, phone in, and share anything of national importance that you think we need to be made aware of. This is a platform and the opportunity provided to you to do just that. You can call us on the landline. It's 435-2041. You can message us on WhatsApp. It's also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. You can also participate on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. This is Open Line Friday here on To The Point. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, caller. Let's try this again. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Russell.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, go ahead. Okay. Alrighty then. Yes, Open Line Friday here on To The Point. Anything that you think we need to be made aware of, thoughts on anything that is happening that you want to share, that you haven't gotten the opportunity to share as yet, now is your time to share with us. Let's go back to the phone line. Season's greetings, caller.
Season's greetings to you, Miss Blossom.
Thank you very much.
Yes. What I want to raise this morning, I don't want to nitpick, right? But I think, well, I'm not sure if any testing has been done on the road between Grenada and Carriacou, since it's technically crossing borders, although we're like on the map itself, we're together, but remember we're crossing seas. So I'm not sure if there's any COVID-19 testing being done. And also if you or other reporters can investigate, does NIS really have anything to deal with? If I'm working in my full-time job, I'm diagnosed COVID-19 positive, I'm supposed to be home for 14 days. Who is paying me for being home? Because I've asked somebody in the NIS and they say they don't think they have anything for that yet, because, you know, NIS only recognizes a paper from a registered doctor. And sometimes the people who are giving you the test might not be a registered doctor. So would you please sign it for us, please, and have a good rest of 2020.
Thank you. Before you run off, in terms of the testing between Grenada and Carriacou, you mean visitors or nationals?
Well, visitors and nationals alike, because if I, let's say I am going to Carriacou, but I might have it, I might be asymptomatic, then I'll be bringing it into another island technically.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. In terms of travel between the islands, visitors still need to quarantine, and they're quarantining on the mainland before they go up to the sister isles. So when you come in, even if you're staying on the mainland or you're going to any one of the sister isles, you still need to be quarantined on the mainland before you go up to the sister isles. For locals, I have not heard of tests being carried out. I guess that would only come if you are part of, a contact tracing and they trace it back, then they would contact you before, after you reach to Carriacou or Grenada, whichever direction. But if, let's say I want to go up to Carriacou for the Christmas weekend, I do not believe there is testing required. to the best of my knowledge. In relation to the NIS payment, that was a concern raised by the TUC since the pandemic started earlier this year. What takes place there, and I don't think we've had a definitive answer as to what happens in case you have to be quarantined, and what happens, well, specifically for entrepreneurs, self-employed individuals. I believe even if you're working with a company and you're quarantined, you still receive your pay. Like if I have to be quarantined, I still would get paid by the GBN. For self-employed people who may be losing income, or day paid workers who may be losing income, I am not sure what happens there. Good morning, caller. I lost that caller, but I would inquire in relation to the NIS thing. I would inquire if something definitive came about. All right, let me check the social media. Somebody's typing on the WhatsApp. In the meantime, let me go. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to you. Happy Christmas and to you and your staff.
Thank you very much. Many happy returns.
Right. What my concern about is going down Lagoon Road yesterday. I noticed all these yachts and them on the waterfront there. I'm very concerned about that.
Exactly what is the concern?
Well, for the testing and so I cannot see this amount of yacht, all the passengers and them coming ashore. What, do they on their own?
No, they have requirements.
Yes, they have requirements, but they've been tested all the time, the whole set.
They'll be quarantined and go through this normal. Whether you come by sea or by air, you have to be quarantined. For the yachters, they are quarantined on their boats. They have rules and regulations, protocols in place via the local yachting organization,
Yes.
well, Ministry of Health and so.
And every time somebody check on them to make sure everything is
Yes, after the 4 days have elapsed, then they do the test before they are.
That's something people should concern about. Thank you. Have a good day, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. You as well. And that is something the Ministry of Health has put in place since we started reopening our borders. The protocols for yachties or yachters, when they arrive, they have to go through the protocols and sign in and so forth, and they quarantine not at government facilities but on the yachts out at sea, so they're not even docked on shore. And then after 4 days, they still need to do the test, just like if they were in mandatory or home quarantine. They still need to do the test after day 4 to see if they can mingle with the rest of us. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, how are you today?
I'm good. How you do?
Well, Blossom, I wasn't too well over the past few months, and I am improving significantly.
Good.
So
Good to
whoever
hear.
trying to see if they could capitalize and run me down and rejoice, tell them that the person that probably sent them to rejoice full of Parkinson's and shaking on the TV, but that is not what I call to talk about. So don't rejoice. You have Parkinson's right in your bed today. What I call about too, Parkinson's disease. That could
Yes.
anybody could have that. Anyway, yesterday I was listening, and I know the case is alarming, and I take Citizens Rollo point that when you ask the gentleman about how much, he said 90 plus, and I think he must be, with due respect to him, because I think he tries. I like him. He tries. I think the nation needs to be informed, needs to be more transparent, of course. That should be the hallmark of the government, but it certainly is not. So they must tell us exactly how much, and don't just say 90 plus. But what I want to talk about is the vaccine that I heard you talk about. You mentioned it to him yesterday about this allergic reaction that people are getting. And he kind of sliced it up. I wasn't particular about the answer. But I understand that there are a lot of people going through a lot of bad allergic reaction. They had to stay home for days, and also in Trinidad now, they're setting up something because they realize that they're setting up some special place because it is alleged that after they give some of the people the vaccine, that they have to stay for a half day. There are some concerns, and people are definitely getting sick. Now, I know there's this thing about Joe Biden taking and this person taking and all these leaders, including, I hear Keith Mitchell say the same thing. But see, I don't know. I can't verify that what they actually vaccine that they're getting, that they say, that they claim to say that they're getting, they're actually getting. So I don't have no confidence in none of them, these world leaders, including the one here, to actually tell us and say that the actual vaccine that they're taking is the one that we will have to take. And so, also I was listening to the international community, and apparently a lot of the vaccines that they want to give to these third world countries, like for instance, understand there was the one developed right now in China, that a lot of people are complaining about. I think Brazil don't want it because it's getting people sick. So all I'm just warning, because I was listening to a face-to-face meeting that Keith Mitchell had, and he was saying about this vaccine, and so that probably optimistic about. But I am just saying to the government, be very careful. Be very careful with this vaccine that all you. I'm not saying they're pushing it on people because I don't want nobody to sue me. Be very careful. Because the bottom line is that Keith Mitchell and his administration was too reckless, and they that caused this confusion, the mess that we're in today.
Okay.
So I'm saying to you all, be careful with this vaccine and listen to the international community and see what people are going through, because there's definitely people are going through a lot of things because of this vaccine.
Okay.
And we don't want to be pushed into this thing where people just give us anything, and we did. Be very careful, Keith Mitchell.
All right. Thank you very much. I remember, was it yesterday when, if not yesterday, the day before? I think it was the day before, Tuesday. Somebody made a comment about your health caller, and you were not impressed, to say the least. But you're calling this morning and doing the same thing that you didn't want somebody to do to you. And that's the second time you've made the comments about the Parkinson's, and I don't think that should be a gateway for you to continue. So, just as though you didn't like it, please, control thy thoughts. In relation to the vaccine, what the PS said yesterday was that, like every other vaccine, it is expected that people would have reactions to the vaccine, whether it's COVID-19 or whatever other vaccine we've taken in the past. People would experience allergic reactions or reactions to them. But so far, the reports coming in, the majority of people have been fine after taking the vaccine. And what we should focus on is that it's not everybody would have the same reaction to the vaccine. One of the examples he drew was in relation to shellfish. There are some people who eat shellfish and are allergic, but that does not mean they would tell everybody else not to eat shellfish. And there was another example he drew about reaction. Amoxicillin, the medication, some people are allergic to it, but they won't tell everybody not to use it. It's the same with the vaccine. And as Prime Minister Dr. Mitchell and other leaders have said, it would not be mandatory that people take the vaccine. So it's up to each and every one of us to decide whether we want to take the jab or not. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom. How are you today?
Morning, I'm good.
All right. Going back to the problem with the sandals thing, not only Grenada Sandals that had that problem, all the sandals in the Caribbean had the same problem because they allow those people to come in those hotels and to stay in the hotels. But, mistake make. Everybody make mistakes. So now they're going to correct their mistake. That's going to happen again because they realize the mistake they make. Not only Grenada, it happens. So people doing like it's only Grenada Sandals, it happens. But if you check it from Jamaica, come right down, Antigua, all of them had the same problem because we take the same system from them. Because remember, Grenada was the last one that had opens, right? All the rest had opens into Grenada. So remember, the Prime Minister was looking to see what's going to happen for us before he did it, and then he did it after, but we end up in the same problem, and so on. But with the injection, I remember when I was going to school as a young guy going to school, they used to come to school and give you injection, and the boys going up in front and the girls going back because they're afraid, one behind the other, and the boys are going up, they're going back. And everybody afraid of the injection because after you got that injection, your hand used to swell, sometimes you get fever and all those kind of things. So it's not only this thing that is happening too, because it happened already before. And I think I heard you say so too also, that it happened already before, not only this one. Okay, so people don't think that is because of this one is going to happen. It happened already before, and it happened here when I was school time. I don't know if that happened to you. And some people still have the little mark on the hand and the shoulder where they get the little injection in those days in school. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And enjoy your Christmas and see you next. Hear you for the New Year's.
Thank you very much, caller. You enjoy your Christmas as well. Yes, caller. I think because of all the not so nice things being said about COVID-19 and the vaccines, everything is just looked at with different lens. And we sometimes forget that this is not the first situation of its kind. This is not the first global health pandemic that our officials are dealing with, and based on experience they're able to tell you what would take place, but they believe it's a hoax and the pandemic, as one viewer and listener says. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and how are you this morning?
Good morning, I'm great. How are you?
Not so bad.
All right.
Blossom, this vaccine business, I heard Miss Anne-Marie Evans talking about. I remember when I was going to England in 1962, I took the vaccine, and I was ill for 3 days. You had to have a vaccine in those days when you traveled to England. And I traveled to England, and I was homesick for at least 3 days. I was in bed with fever. So, I mean, the problem is some people react to someone, some people just like nothing. So I don't know what she's making a big fuss about, advising people that don't take. She's not a medical doctor. She's making this big fuss about nothing. Time she stop them nonsense and carrying the life. Okay, my dear, have a nice Christmas anyhow.
Thank you. You do the same as well. She's just expressing her concern with the vaccine, and she's not the only one, actually, that has expressed concern with the COVID-19 vaccine for whatever reason. So let's not come down. Let's refrain from coming down on each other. Let's feel free to share our thoughts without attacking others. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says there are some young girls going around doing a raffle from New Vision from unemployment, scam most likely, and they were mentioning that the draw will take place at GBN. Can we get clarity on it? I see a pic of the ticket if you like. I saw a pic of a raffle, I think it was $25,020 and trip for two and so on and so forth. I do not know about a draw to take place at GBN for the ticket. That does not mean it's not happening. It's just that I do not know. I don't know everything that takes place here at the GBN, but I do not know about that. I would inquire and see what happens. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and good morning to your audience. Also, happy Christmas to you.
Good morning. Many happy returns.
Thank you. I'm calling to clarify a few things, particularly in relation to Sandals. I think it's unfortunate that the thing had to happen that way, involving the pandemic. But what people don't know is that all-inclusive have a different regime which their governor manage under. You know, they're almost a state within a state. So it might be that it's not that they purposely allow the thing to happen, but because they have had lots of leeway in a lot of areas. For instance, I don't know if you remember the transfer of the agricultural worker, Paul Graham, when he did not approve of some soil that the company wanted to bring in because he had said that it is unsafe with that congaree or whatever it is. It had a pest and so on. And he was removed. The thing about it is that it's not that I don't think that these people deliberately allow it because they're operating on a different rule. And when people like me and others were saying that all-inclusive hotels are not for little countries like it, I urge you, Blossom, to try and get a copy of the Jamaica for Sale, and you will see some of the issues related to all-inclusive. So it's unfortunate that this thing comes to the fore at this time, when we are facing a crisis. Secondly, in terms of the vaccine, what is different about this vaccine now, or the vaccines that they are creating now for this thing, is that it has never been done before. Normally, you take 10 years or whatever to develop something, of that magnitude. And the other thing about it is that this is genetically modified stuff, which could alter your whole person as a human being. There's a lot of unknown. And although people say, no, yes, there'll be adversity, there might be with some people and saying, no one knows. There's some questions that are not answered in this situation. And it is believed this is a way of controlling the population. And I tend to fall for that because in the case of Donald Trump, when he contracted the coronavirus, he took 3 days to recover. The question I had to ask people, although people think it was a fake, I don't think it was a fake. He actually got it in. But he had to ask yourself the question, how did he recover in 3 days' time? And the answer is he got a different treatment that most people are getting, especially people of African and minorities and so on. He got something that we refer to as antibody regime, in which he was able to balance off his body and move back into action. What they're treating other people is not that. So that's why people are dying, and then there's a whole sort of thing that is connected to that. Last time, there's an African-American expert in the States, a female doctor, who I'm in conversation with, and she's willing to have an audience with people here in Grenada. She's sort of all over the world. And she's somebody I would even be willing to introduce her to GBN. We are trying to work out something where she will talk to the broadest number of people in Grenada so that she give it a balance. In fact, when you finish hear this woman speaking, you will not be frightened.
Okay.
You know why? You would then take action. Like she said, for instance, people are making fuss about the mask, which I think is unfortunate. She said, for instance, if you're going out in the rain, you're going to go up with a raincoat.
Okay.
Or with an umbrella. And that is the same thing with the mask.
All right.
But there's some other things that could be done without having to be resort to that vaccine.
Okay.
And in fact, she told me the last thing she heard that I read about is that there's this vaccine that comes instead of injecting in you inhale it, and that is maybe a better option than that genetically modified stuff.
All right. Thank you so much, caller.
Okay.
Thank you very much, caller. Let me go to the social media. Somebody on YouTube says, where did COVID-19 come from and why is no one held responsible? It seems like this virus dropped down from the sky and we just have to deal with it. Another YouTuber says COVID-19 comes from the blood of any dark-skinned people due to the Christian day, so be conscious. Let me go to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, I want to know if I take the vaccine, would I be able to visit Grenada without going quarantine? Right now, I'm refusing it. That has not been decided as yet. Somebody else is asking, I'm really convinced that's with any vaccine in relation to the allergies. I'm allergic to eggs. Does not mean that everything made with eggs should be banished. Every drug has side effect. And let me go back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning, Ms. Jeremiah.
I didn't know you had an open line this morning because I went outside. I just came back in.
No problem.
And I realized I just want to read a short passage from John chapter 15, and I just hope people would, take it for what it says. Now Jesus said, I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. If a man abideth not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. I just love that verse, 15:7. I'll read it again. If you abide in me, says Jesus, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. If ye keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if you do whatsoever I command you. I mean, that is so beautiful, so consoling. I mean, if we really know the Lord, we have an intimate relationship with him. It's like a love letter. It's like love words. You know, he's making you know, look, this is the relationship you have with me. If you abide in me and I abide in you, you'll be fruitful. You will do the things that are right. And, you know, whatsoever, once you are walking right with me, whatsoever you ask, you will get it. I mean, I don't know what we need more than that. So I just wish people would look at that and claim those words, make it personal.
Okay.
Have a blessed, darling. God bless you. And
You
again,
too.
all the best for tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Many happy returns.
Don't overeat, huh?
I'll try. All right.
All right, let's take a quick break and then come back inside. This is Open Line here on To The Point. We'll be right back.
From Monday, November 2nd to Thursday, December 31st, GBN's Christmas Caravan will be blazing the trail of goodness across Grenada. Join us as we journey daily to find the hottest deals this Christmas season. Win prizes from our partners. Get recipes for your favorite Christmas treats and bust a tune in the Christmas Karaoke Fun segment. It's GBN's Christmas Caravan. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Live on Classic Radio 105.5 and 105.9. GBN Television channels 7 and 11. GBN's Facebook page and GBN's YouTube channel. Your mid-mornings will never be the same.
The Christmas Caravan is brought to you in part by Hubbard's and the Food Fair Supermarkets, Kittens Healthcare, Sissons Paint, and Bryden and Miners and Ace Hardware.
Grenada's chief medical officer has ordered that all confirmed positive COVID-19 individuals, their contacts, and members of their household must remain in quarantine or isolation for 14 days. Anyone who fails to comply with this order will be in breach of the Public Health COVID-19 Regulations 2020 and is guilty of an offense. Upon summary conviction, that person will be liable to a penalty of up to $10,000. A message from the Ministry of Health.
You've spoken, we have heard. Now we're making more time available for your evening primetime shows on K105. From Monday, July 6th, Your Law will air from 6 to 7 p.m. On Tuesdays, Simply Agriculture. And on Wednesdays, join discussions on constitution reform in partnership with Island Media. At 5:55 p.m., we bring you news headlines, a capsule on local, regional, and international events, followed by news at 7 via simulcast with GBN Television. Join Godfrey Augustine for stimulating discussions on Release It from 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and Thursdays. GBN's K105.5 and 105.9. We're with you everywhere and anywhere. If you're on the move, catch us online at www.gbn.my. gbn.gd.
Welcome back to The Point. Is open line here on the program because there's no program tomorrow, God willing. Let me read a comment on let me go to the phone lines and then I'm going to come to WhatsApp. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
I want you to give me the same length of 3 minutes that you gave a few other people in the beginning.
You're taking up seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyhow, as I would say that, as you all know, that every one of us do not make up the same, the same parts of our body. Some are stronger than others. Some are what one medicine may do to another, it mightn't do to me or you. At the same time, I don't think these people that are making the medicine are stupid enough that they should be sued. They have to undergo a lot of things before they do that, before they put that to the public. I think maybe with the exception of Grenada and a few other countries, people get away to some extent with murder. But I don't think in other parts of the world, if you make medicine and it had adverse effect on a large population, and I underline the word on a large population, because you expect when you make a particular medicine, it would have adverse effect on one, and whereas with the other one, it would maybe cure the illness or the disease. So I expect these medicines, what they're making for immunity, would have adverse effect on one, and other one, it might cure the other person. So people have to expect that, and I think it's time that that so-called experienced people, so-called intelligent people, so-called learned people should know them things and set out this information to the people that are giving wrong information. I'm scared too, because I would watch and see if you die when you take it. So I'm looking out. I'm looking out to see. But in Grenada, they don't tell you what kill who and what don't kill who. I'm hearing a lot of people dying, but I don't know if it's from COVID-19, because I can't hear how they die and what caused them to die. So it could be more than... Anyhow, I'm seeing a lot going on the air, on the death announcement. So I'm wondering what causing all these people to die at this time. So people have a right to be scared. I'm scared, but not so scared. It's very important that people be scared. But when you become scared, you're lessening your immune system. I'm not a doctor, but maybe you could help them and tell them that. You're weakening it, sorry. That's a better word. You're weakening it. So what you have to do is don't put yourself in harm's way, and harm won't take you. That is why you have to avoid being around people without a mask. And that is what's important. Sometimes I'm driving a vehicle. I wanted to say a car, because everybody would say a car. But I'm driving a big SUV, a van. And if somebody asks me for a drive, whether you are my very best friend, I'm telling you that you do it. Even have a good friend, underline the word good friend.
Okay.
When he or she want to come into my vehicle, I say, look, you can't come into my vehicle without a mask. Go back for your mask. People have to be I like my life. Who don't like the life, put it on the threshold of death. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me go to YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says the bus should not be full. It can be spaced out and every mask must be on. Somebody on Facebook says, in my opinion, all I see is evil men and science taking over the world. Quoting scripture doesn't work anymore because men only remember God in times of trouble. Let me go to a comment on the WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp, Facebook, as I'm laughing at you guys. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I entered into a place of business and I was made to sign my name with the same 1 pen available and sanitized my hands using the same bottle that is available, all by myself. Shouldn't the business place provide a person to do all these things? Then if I have to touch the same pen and the same bottle, I believe it defeats the whole purpose of sanitization. I too share your concern about the pen specifically. What I've done, I sanitize my hand, and then I touch the pen and I sanitize it again. If I have to use the same bottle, I would kind of wet my hand so that when I touch the bottle, the alcohol doesn't just stay on my hand. There's enough that it can sanitize the bottle in the meantime. So if you're going to leave me to use your things myself, I'm going to use it how I see fit. So if an employee would give me 1 squirt, I take in about 3 or 4 to ensure that I can protect myself. If you give me the responsibility, I'm going to do what I need to do to protect myself. Some stores, I understand that they may not have, somebody that they can dedicate to that aspect of it. But sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. So sometimes walk with your own pen just in case, and your sanitizer, or use the sanitizer twice after using the pen and or the bottle. You have to be prepared in these COVIDious times. Another WhatsApper says, I think there is something amiss when it comes to taking the vaccine. Seems they are trying to reduce the population of the black race. I will try to avoid it as much as possible. The vaccine in the old days were different from the ones of today. Today there is an agenda behind this vaccine. We have been getting too many different reasons why we should or should not take it. That's another thing too. We're getting reasons why we should and should not, but most of us tend to go with the juicier part, which is the should not take the vaccine part. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How you do?
I'm blessed, man.
Amen.
I want to say good morning to Dr. Martin. I see him on the TV last night. Oh, my God, you look so nice. And it seems to be you could handle the new ball very well. So I just want to say to Grenadian, you see how the man is looking. Please, we head hard like Labby Rock. Listen to the advice and do it for me. Please, Blossom, this morning I go to the market. I see this man stand up. He has some nice size on time. I think I go to buy some. I say, Mr. Put on your mask. You don't want no mask, I have on my mask. I lift up my hands to the heaven and I walk out and I go about my business. I don't know what's wrong with us. We're not listening. We're not obeying. Please, people, don't look for $1 today and without weighing your mask, and tomorrow when you get the $1, you go home and you poison your whole home, your whole house, Please, let us obey. It's so hard. When I listen to the news and I see how much people, nurses crying, doctors crying, oh God, the workload so much for them. And we just playing careless. So I'm asking us, please obey the protocol. Wear your mask. Stay away from crowd. And I also want to say good morning to to the management in Foodland. I go about 6:30 this morning and I could have picked up my my stuff without no big set of crowd. Thanks, the little things that matter. I appreciate that early morning opening so much. Have a good day, my sister, and God bless you. Wear your mask. Stay away from crowd. Wash your hands.
Thank you very much, caller. Well said indeed. I concur with following the protocol. I believe it was earlier this week, Godfrey said it. I believe Doc said it yesterday. The RGPFS said it. While Grenadians may not, quote-unquote, be to blame for the current COVID situation, the fact remains we are still not all following the protocols and regulations. So we're still talking to each other close, no mask wearing, and we're just not, some of us are just not following the protocols at all. So while we may not be directly responsible, we still have our parts to play, and some of us are not playing that part. Good morning, caller.
Pleasant good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, from my personal point of view, 2 things quickly. As it relates to the vaccine, for me, this vaccine is the mother of all vaccines. Never in the history of this world a disease would have passed like that and people are just dying like that, literally falling down and die, and they were dying by scores. Now, after China, Italy was the most affected one, and eventually America took over. I don't think it's a correct thing to really compare that vaccine to other medicines, other vaccine and other medicines. I have side effects, but I would not compare whatever problem I have with other vaccine or medicine with that vaccine. That should be separated. Finally, for those people who do not want to wear masks, they want to jump in and jump out of vehicles as superheroes, you all need to start checking all yourselves. Because our medication is not at the best. And in case scores of people decide to go down with this thing, I don't know how we're going to make it. You all need to obey, wear your mask. Stop just walking and jumping in and jumping out of vehicles without wearing your mask, and going in crowds without wearing your mask. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Let me go to the social media. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, hold on. Right. Somebody on WhatsApp says, cancer is the world's #1 killer. Year come, year go, no vaccine, no cure by scientists, but in less than a year, just a few months, they developed vaccine for COVID-19. This is so strange and a grave cause for concern. Why are they not getting a solution or cure for cancer and other deadly illnesses where pain and suffering is taking place? Interesting. It was if not yesterday, the day before, I read an article that stated that addressed, see how things has happened. I read an article that addressed that same concern. How come years and we can't find a cure for cancer, and COVID-19 is only a year old, approximately, and we have a vaccine? According to the article, the base for vaccines, or vaccines start at a base because you know the makeup of coronavirus. Remember, COVID-19 is a family of coronavirus, just like the flu, the cold. So they have a base from which to start. So to develop the vaccine, you just have to test and keep going until you find the right combination of things. The right combination of stuff to put together for the vaccine. Cancer, in the meantime, they do not specifically know what causes cancer or when it starts, what starts it, they don't have a base for the cancer. One, there are different types of cancer, but it would start for different reasons in different people, so it's kind of hard to get a true base. They have tried different things. What's the word I'm looking for? They've tried different ways of curing and treating, which is part of how chemotherapy came about. But to find an actual vaccine, for lack of a better word, for cancer has been a bit difficult because of the uncertain origin. I hope that kind of makes sense to explain what I read in the article. See how things happen. Let me see. Let me read this WhatsApp. Somebody says, does it still cost $9,500 to quarantine one person for 2 weeks? And concerning the 7 people who left the resort to get aboard the airport and immigration, somebody at the hotel itself must have checked these guests out. Who was the driver that took them to the airport without knowing their status? We all have to play our part. Let's be vigilant, especially to the taxi drivers who are picking up guests to bring to the airport. Make sure you know the status of the guests you're carrying. Most likely they were checked out, but keep in mind as well, at that time that they left, they didn't know their status. So I guess if I'm a guest at your hotel, I would give the officials that Blossom is positive, but without that result I can't give you the list. So they checked out, they gone about their business, and then they realize, Good morning, caller. All right, lost that caller. In relation to the price of quarantine, remember that $9,500 was for the cruise ship workers. The quarantine, and that was for 14 days. The quarantine now, each person is responsible for their own quarantine, and it's paid per day and it's for, let's say, 4 to 7 days, roughly. I understand there are people who may be there longer, but let's say for 4 to 7 days. So I don't think it is as much as 9,005. That was just a ballpark figure for each cruise ship worker that was returning to quarantine that the Bill government had to foot for each worker. Things have changed since then, and then you now have the option of organizing your own meal, so you don't have to pay for your meals as part of the quarantine price. So a lot has changed since then. The phone isn't ringing, so let's take a break. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and wrap up Open Line on To The Point. We'll be right back.
From Monday, November 2nd to Thursday, December 31st, GBN's Christmas Caravan will be blazing the trail of goodness across Grenada. Join us as we journey daily to find the hottest deals this Christmas season. Win prizes from our partners. Get recipes for your favorite Christmas treats and bust a tune in the Christmas Karaoke Fun segment. It's GBN's Christmas Caravan. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Live on Classic Radio 105.5 and 105.9. GBN Television Channels 7 and 11. GBN's Facebook page and GBN's YouTube channel. Your mid-mornings will never be the same.
The Christmas Caravan is brought to you in part by Hubbard's and the Food Fair Supermarkets, Kittens Healthcare, Sisson Spade, and Bryden and Miners and Ace Hardware.
Welcome back to Open Line Thursday here on To The Point. Let's go right back to the phone. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning.
It's Herman from Richmond. I want to extend season's greetings to you, the staff, and the entire nation.
Thank you so much. Many happy returns.
Yeah, you're welcome. I wanted to say I don't remember if I didn't hear. Sorry, that this year, because last year, remember, I was crowned the winner of Freestyle Friday, you know, because of the local tune that I composed. I didn't hear that this year. I don't know if that was hard, you know, because I think a lot of times you got to give the creativity for people a chance to grow.
Maybe next year, please, Lord.
Yeah, but I just want to, because you see, this year, I just want to give you a line of, because COVID came, I saw cruise ships come sailing in on Christmas Day. I saw cruise ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what brought they, those ships all three, on Christmas Day. And what brought they, those ships all three, on Christmas Day in the morning? Coronavirus, the pandemic, on Christmas Day. Coronavirus, the pandemic, on Christmas Day in the morning. Have a good day, Blossom.
Thank you. You do the same. Enjoy your Christmas. Let me go back to the WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, last week, Thursday, I learned from a program on another station that there isn't a COVID team in Carriacou and PT Martinique and not a testing station in case there is an outbreak. What will happen to the people out there? If only one doctor on island to serve Carriacou and PT Martinique, I think the administration needs to do better than that, even if Carriacou did not have any cases, but people traveled back and forth to the mainland. Why it's important to have a COVID team and testing station on the sister isle. There is a COVID team on the sister isle, if my memory serves me correctly. And they have been carrying out tests on the sister isle. They may not have a specific station, but they have been carrying out tests. For instance, the 2 yachtas that came down from up the islands, they had their tests done. There were people in quarantine on the sister isle, as revealed by one of the health officials last week. In relation to the cluster, they were in quarantine. So there are facilities and methods on the sister isle for the COVID-19. There is a team and measures put in place for testing. Another WhatsApper says, can you imagine government would use this period of distraction to sneak in the Chinese to buy shares of Grenlec? I am imploring Grenadians, please stay awake this holiday season. I heard the rumors. We don't know for sure. Just yesterday, the ministry had to debunk what they call fake news. So let's be cautious in what we hear and believe and take as gospel until such time. All right, let me see if I can go call. Yes, let me go back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Blossom.
Good morning.
Yes. You believe 42 years, 78 years, and by then the president is 78. You think they will want to take a vaccine to die? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The first woman that took the vaccine in the UK, she was elderly. I think she was in her 70s. I believe it was. Yeah, they want to extend their lives by whether it's a year or 2 years. Some people believe it would help. A WhatsApper. My concern is after listening to people questioning the validity of our constitution, I wonder if they are questioning the other islands that have gained independence from Britain and are not a republic. 2, Prime Minister Gonzalez of St. Vincent is on his 4th term as Prime Minister, and yet he's not called a dictator. But here some of us are calling our Prime Minister such. Pure hypocrisy. And lastly, the COVID vaccine is not mandatory, so to each his own. The validity of the constitution was not necessarily, but it wasn't that it came after we gained independence from Britain. The validity was questioned because of revolution. During the revolution, it was, what is the word I'm looking for? For lack of a better word, suspended. That's not the word I'm looking for, but that kind of vibe. So like it was put aside during the revolution, and after the revolution, it was not reenacted. That was the concern about the validity of the constitution, not gaining independence from Britain. The vaccine, I agree, it's not mandatory, so to each his own. If I feel to take the jab, I feel to take the jab. If I don't trust, I don't take it. WhatsApp. I had an accident yesterday on a bus. There was one more seat left, so while sitting, the conductor said, let me get one more person. I said, no, I will pay for the space. Honestly, there was no space available. Why are they overcrowding the buses still? If a passenger is oversized, please pack accordingly. I agree. I don't know why we still packing the buses and not just 3 in a row like the bus allows, but we're still trying to cram 4 in a row and putting the sponge in between the like that. I don't think we in them days by day, so I don't understand it either. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Kindly give me a minute and a half. I don't want
1 minute. One.
Yes. Anyhow, okay. I think we must not generalize and say there isn't any cure for cancer. I have heard that people claimed on the air that they have been cured from cancer. I don't know if they're making believe or what. And in my days, because I'm very, very, very old, I know that the people are saying that they could cure asthma. And up to date, we have asthma. They say, ask your mother, Blossom. They used to give them lizard and think coconut water or something or resort. And there are lots of diseases that have been cured by different people, but they are not established cures, as you would call them. So don't go to the idea that certain diseases are cannot cured.
Okay.
They have been cured, they have not been established.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Final comment that I can read on WhatsApp. I'm just clicking it by here. Somebody says technology has increased people. Some are complaining that it's that normally it takes 10 years to develop a vaccine. Look at transportation, communication, medical procedures that have improved drastically. COVID is a virus. Cancer is a totally different thing. All right, this is the last one. The people have bigger problem than the vaccine, which has not been administered in Grenada so far. The government is selling the country. You won't be able to travel anywhere without a COVID vaccine certificate for some countries. All right, that's the end of the program. We need to close it off now. Thank you so much for participating and tuning in. Always appreciate your listenership, your viewership, your time. Thank you so much. We are going into the Christmas weekend. It's going to be a long weekend. It's a time that we usually spend with family and friends and doing what we love to at this time of the year. But keep in mind that it's Christmas with a difference. Remember, the Prime Minister cautioned about staying in your own home or family bubble for Christmas and New Year's next week, God willing. So please keep that in mind. Be cautious, be careful. The protocols, your masks, your hand sanitizers, your gloves if you need them. Soap and water is always a reliable form of keeping your hands clean and the rest of your body. Continue to be safe. Be COVID-19 smart. Continue to practice the protocols. Have yourselves a safe, enjoyable Christmas. Enjoy the festivities with your family, your friends, your loved one, and happy holidays on behalf of myself and my family. Have yourselves a safe, productive Thursday. Joseph is up next. Mr. Kador is up next with the Christmas Caravan. Enjoy, everybody.